Greetings everybody and welcome to Madrid Ball. I hope you're all safe and sound. Real Madrid got a hat-trick of wins to head into the international break with a positive result. But truth to be told, the Los Blancos came very close to repeating the heroics that our fellow Catalan rivals showcased yesterday. We were close to bottling a 2-goal lead, we were close to dropping 2 points late into the game, but in the crunch moment, we needed a desperate goal line clearance from Toni Kroos to save the blushes, and what we can say is that Real Madrid are still showing phases of complacency. It almost came back to bite us in the end, especially the final 10-15 minutes were very edgy. Radamel Falcao led the fight for Rayo, making the scoreline 2-1, and at the end of the night, Real Madrid went top of the table and were very much relieved to just get over the line. So in this video, we'll do the post-match analysis of Real Madrid vs Rayo Vallecano. We'll talk about the significant happenings of the game, and without further ado, let's get started. And having a look at the lineup, there was Courtois in goal. In the back four, Ancelotti fielded his strongest backline. We had Militao, Alaba, Mendy and Dani Carvajal. In the midfield we had Kroos, Casemiro and Camavinga, and in attack we had Vinicius, Benzema and Asensio. And before moving forward, let's quickly give the shout out after a very long time. Mr. Max was the only person to predict 2-1 in favour of Madrid, and I congratulate you for getting the scoreline correct. But anyways, if we talk about the starting 11, we did see Marco Asensio being chosen ahead of Vasquez and Eden Hazard. Also we saw Modric pulled out of the squad just before the game. We had been informed by Ms. Aranca Rodriguez that Modric was out due to fever, and that paved the way for the young sensation Eduardo Camavinga, who had a similar role to that of the Croatian. He made quite a few progressive runs, carrying the ball forward. There was the instance where Benzema had the chance to let Camavinga through on goal, but an intelligent intervention by the Rayo man led to the move breaking down, and I did think that yesterday Eduardo Camavinga did a decent job. He made some defensive interventions, and obviously there is still room for improvement. Also, we'd like to improve on his tackling side of the game. Sometimes he's just too late into those challenges and often ends up getting himself punished. So I would say it was a net positive performance, but undoubtedly we need the youngster to keep growing as he gets more minutes on the pitch. And talking about Marco Asensio, he was deployed by Ancelotti on the right wing, and I did think it was a positive game for him, especially in the first half. He was much more involved. His movement was causing a lot of problem for the Rayo defenders. He made a number of good overlapping runs, and obviously he set up Kroos for the goal. It all started from the header of Benzema. Vinicius had to fend off the pressure from the Rayo defenders. Credit to him, he was physical and was more determined to get to the ball. He then passes the ball to Asensio on the right. Asensio cuts inside to get rid of the man and finally ends up making the pass to Toni Kroos, who had steamed into the box. He volleys it with power. It went like a thunderbolt. The keeper got his hand to it, but the shot was just too hot to handle. And that was some good bit of play from Real Madrid, and it's good to see that Toni Kroos is chipping in with the goals. Usually it's either Benzema or Vinicius who get the names on the score sheet, but if we get some goals from the midfield, if our midfielders as well can make those dangerous runs into the box, chip in with goals, Real Madrid will certainly benefit from having a number of goal-scoring options rather than just being reliant on Vinicius and Benzema. But talking about the first half in general, we can say it was a good half from Real Madrid. We had control in the game. We were the ones in charge of proceedings. The first half was quite enjoyable. The Bernabeu crowd was also appreciative of the football on display. Rayo, on the other hand, had deployed more of a mid-block, but when Real Madrid would turn on, it was very difficult to stop them from creating chances. We got the second goal to make things comfortable in the game. It was a perfect cross from David Alaba into the box. The delivery, the weight, the placement of the cross was simply perfect. One of the best that you'll see this season. Karim Benzema made a well-timed run. It was probably the simplest goal that Benzema will score all season. The cross and the goal, everything was looking so simple and so effective. And if we were to pass judgment on the first half, we could say that Real Madrid were very comfortable and by far the better team in the first half. Rayo, on the other hand, put on an underwhelming performance. They neither could trouble Courtois, nor were they able to show any form of defensive solidity that they had shown against Barcelona. The manager must have been very disappointed with that showing, and going into halftime, Real Madrid clearly were the better side. They were the better team both offensively and defensively. They were good with the defensive transitions. We saw players running back in shape as soon as Madrid lost the ball, and it could be said that Real Madrid deserved to have the noses in front. You could also say that Real Madrid could have had much more goals in the first half had they been clinical enough. The Los Blancos got goals early in the game, so there was no point in Rayo putting a low block. They had to come out, charge at the Real Madrid players. They had to press high at times, and the Madrid attackers did find a lot of spaces to run into. And coming to the second half, Real Madrid and Rayo both had some very good chances. Early on, we did get to see some individual brilliance. There was the stunning run from Vinicius Junior. Had his shot not been cleared off the line, that would have been one of the goals of the season, and it would have been a sensational moment for the Brazilian. In the 53rd minute as well, Kroos had found Asensio making a good run beyond the last line of defense, but unfortunately Marco Asensio couldn't convert that. And also there was the brilliant bit of play in the 61st minute where Vinicius, Mendy and Benzema were involved. Madrid showed some excellent one-touch passing passing and movement, but at the end of the move, Benzema couldn't put the shot on target. And you could say that even though Benzema got the goal on the night, he wasn't playing at the level that we usually see him playing at. He had a number of chances, but he couldn't finish those, and rightly Ancelotti took him around the 80-minute mark. And yesterday, we can also say that part of the problem in the second half was that Ancelotti refused to make any substitutions to maintain the level that Madrid required. We had to wait right till the final 10 minutes to see Ancelotti make changes. We could see that the players had worn out past the 70-minute mark. There were a lot of heavy legs, the concentration levels had dipped, and in these circumstances, Ancelotti could have made a few changes early on to keep things fresh for the Los Blancos. And maybe we could have prevented things from getting uncomfortable in the final minutes. The goal that Rayo had scored through Radamel Falcao had clearly shifted the momentum in the favour of the visiting team, and one criticism that Don Carlo can get from yesterday's game was that he wasn't proactive enough to see the shifting momentum, and maybe he also overestimated the physical conditioning of the Real Madrid players. So overall, it was an important victory, and Rayo did make us suffer towards the end of the match. There were some positives from the game. There were also the regular negatives that we speak of and which had emerged in the second half of Madrid. But most importantly, we were able to end the game with all the 3 points. It's also worthy of noting that the players have played 6 matches in the matter of 15 days, so visibly they were tired, and now that some of the first team players are going out for international duty, let's hope that all of them would come back to Madrid unhurt and without any injury issues. So those were the important happenings of the game, and let's conclude this video by hearing the thoughts of Carlo Ancelotti. The coach analysed the performance as he said, "I saw a team who played very well for 80 minutes. We had loads of chances, and I thought we'd have to get another goal to kill off the game. The third goal never came, and when they scored, we had 10 minutes of fear and we suffered for it. But we have to look at the big picture. It's usual for Karim to miss the chances we had today. I'm pleased because Rayo played some good stuff and pressed well." Then the coach was asked why he waited so long to make a few substitutions, and Ancelotti responded, "It depends on the game. I saw Karim very tired. The changes at the end was to gain height with Nacho. Also, we didn't have 2 important players like Modric and Valverde." And lastly, Ancelotti also had some encouraging words for Marco Asensio. He said, "I think Asensio can play as a wide forward because of his qualities. He combined well with Dani Carvajal. He can also play as a midfielder and scored a hat-trick against Mallorca. The important thing for him is to feel important in the team, which he is. Every time he has played, he has done well. Today, he had a great assist for Kroos, and he also contributed well in defense. I'm very happy with his performance." So that concludes the post-match analysis of Real Madrid versus Rayo Vallecano. We will be without club football for a few days, but in the meantime, what we will do here is discuss some Real Madrid news. We'll cover the interviews of some of the players, and very importantly, we'll also have the channel members come forward and speak their mind on how they viewed the past month of football displayed by Madrid. So it would be interesting to hear from them, but for the moment, do let me know, what did you think about the performance of Madrid? Which player impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Glory to Madrid. And as always, a la Madrid.